our face, all in our communities, take time out, take some deep breaths and steal some peace for yourself and start thinking and contemplating and seeing how good God is and how good the community can be if we had leadership. So this is what we're doing. We're indoctrinating the black race back into racial matters because racial equity is what we're going for right now, because there's no other race in this country that has a story like we do. And it's sad that we are somehow being silenced by the party that used to enslave us, that fought to keep us enslaved, that kept us locked up, that created mass incarceration, that made sure we couldn't eat at the same table, that we could not share the same communities, and aided and abetted with the American government to basically terrorize our future wealth. So this is why right now the truth shall make us free. So some of you baby boomers were born too early and too late, and the Caucasians ones are going to really see the plan, because there's no way we can continue to be associated with a party that the church is separating itself from. Literally. The church is separating. So if the Catholic Church is number one and Joe Biden says he's Catholic, it's going to be a snowball effect. What are we missing? The Speaker of the House can't even go into a church because of the grave evil she is perpetrating, not only to the community, but even her own soul. Wow. What are we missing? This is what's going on right now. These two mass shootings are distracting us, and we really don't know what's going on, because even still with the Nancy Pelosi situation, and we know when you get caught up, you get caught up with the Nancy Pelosi situation. She can't take Holy Communion. She can't even go to church. CC'd by the global archdiocese and the Pope. And then over the weekend, her husband, this weekend, got pulled over for DUI. And we don't see anything. So the Speaker of the House got denied communion, the Catholic Church. She can't even go into a Catholic church. Now her husband gets a DUI. And I'm sure that he's had fender benders before. He's 84 years old, live in Napa, wine country. So anybody that's driving around Napa going to have some type of blood alcohol level. But on this situation, they gave him literally an infraction because it's the one where the blood alcohol level is at 0.08 or higher, but they know exactly what his toxicology came back. They still playing games. So if they slap you on the wrist, then it was literally worse than what it was. But how can a race of people who has been through so much than any other race in this country still want to party, still want to continue to be besties with that political party? All things come to an end. So in 2024, who will have the heart and the courage to run for the Democratic nominee? Literally, the devil himself going to have to come out, because I don't think nobody in their right mind. And this information and this data, we're going to continue on it, and we're going to keep having these conversations, because there's no way we can wait to a political year and then start trying to figure things out leading up into an election. And you know they're going to bring these old games and things that they play. They're going to have one strike for the home invasions. They're going to have one strike for, it's just going to be a bloodbath unless the adults have a conversation and put them on timeout, because we have to remove ourselves from our biggest threat. And our biggest threat is the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party has a stronghold on us. And we are, as a race, a part of a political party where the leader of the party can't even take Holy Communion because the church leaders have said that she's committing, grave evil and perpetrating. And matter of fact, they're basically saying she lost her soul. And why did he add evil to it? Think about it. The Lord's Prayer, simple, deliver us from evil. So the Democratic Party somehow is deemed as evil. Well, yes, demonic is evil. We know this. Why now? Because the Great Reset, The Catholic Church don't want to be associated. The Great Reset, Black America is going to have to be on its own, independent, competing, looking out for our children's children, looking out for the community. But how can we do this with a criminalization clause in the Constitution? So this is why the minds are being sparked right now. So I'm not telling you to do anything other than stand still and reflect. Because at times reflection is stronger than faith. And that second time around, get that in your mind. That second time around, we will not make the same mistake because they're depending on us to make the same mistake because the matrix says that and they trust the science 100%, but they don't know about leaders and communities that God has already earmarked and motivated and encouraged to actually activate right now. So we grew up on Voltron. So it's time to Voltron up and everybody do what they need to do, because at the end of the day, the whole purpose is to change the face of Black America from a group of liability people to assets. We want to be known as assets to this country, not the anomalies, not this one and that one, not the ones you pick and choose. But we want to show you that as a race of people, we're not as bad as you are trying to make us. We're not as bad as you are depicting us. And we are not as bad as you think we are. We are good people. We just need better opportunities. We need equality. When I say equality, that means from a social and economic perspective. If you live in Watts, you should be getting the same education, public school education, as somebody that lives in Brentwood in a public school system. And the way that we do this, we have ideas, but we have to understand that we have to start paying teachers more. We have to give teachers stipends to come into communities of color or at-risk communities to basically, make it, a reason to come in there, because teachers should be the highest paid public servants in the game. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, if teachers made six figures, we will have a whole lot of teachers that are really passionate about teaching. But we have a whole lot of nurses that's passionate about, nursing. And if you understood what nursing is, you can make $100,000 really not doing too much of nothing, but just being woke and sleep on your shifts. Simple. It's simple to come in there and change a chart. It's simple to come in there and, watch somebody. It's simple. The reason that they're doing it because of the financial gains. But for some strange reason, we think education is not important. But see, when you start thinking outside the box with ideals, just imagine if we amended the 13th Amendment and all these monies that's earmarked for prisons are added to the education. So now we can educate. We can create housing for students. We can create, boarding schools, reform schools, trade schools. We got the answers, but no way we can do this because the Democratic Party will not have a conversation with us. The party's dead. The party is ran by elderly white men and Black women. And that's the science of Willie Lynch. Once the old white slave master get control of the Black woman, then there it is. Because Black women control beta and theta males. And Black women hate alpha males. Why? Because that's who they want to be. Yeah, I said it. It is. Because any woman that has an issue with a man, the man is your, I want to be like him. Y'all act like us, walk like us, talk like us. And if we act like y'all, walk like y'all, talk like y'all, we'll be a gray transgender. But you acting like us, oh, she's strong. No, she's disrespectful, because there is a physical component that when the line is crossed, they had to put some laws to protect you. So how could we be equal? So when I'm saying grown men stand up, and being a grown man ain't got nothing to do with size. It got everything to do with heart, courage, and leadership. And leaders are born. So if you feel that you are a leader, you can't lead everybody, but you can lead from the position that you lead in. Get you a team, get you a posse. Understand what's really going on out there. Because the real has finally come into fruition, and we're really going to take this thing full Monty, man. Full Monty. So like I said, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but Just understand, only in a democracy where you have a system that's predicated on the demolition, the demise, demotion, decline, and genocide of a race. That's democratic rule. Demo, demon, diablo, devil, crat, rule. Devil rule. That's the party. Why is it that the archdiocese is disassociating itself with the Democratic Party, the Catholic Church, and Joe Biden says he's Catholic? All these things that's going on. The reason why they're not telling us the truth, because they're not going to question and put in subjection. They just react. And if you looking at the reactions with the leak of the Supreme Court Justice bill in terms of a draft to amend or to remove Roe versus Wade from the Supreme Court level, and that will be the snowball effect. Because once that happened, the 13th Amendment should not be there, because Andrew Johnson, who was the vice president of Abraham Lincoln, he did the same thing that Lyndon B. Johnson did in 1964, exactly 100 years later. Sold us out, changed the game. And the only reason Lincoln had Andrew Johnson as a vice president because he needed votes from the Democratic side. So we are living in real time, and we're seeing that things, it's coming into fruition. So all you woke conscious people that was talking about revolution and all that, the revolution is here. The revolution is being televised. Our freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedoms of religion has already been compromised. And it's been compromised because of the duality or the two-party system. You can't build and destroy at the same time. We must build. So we reject build back better, because to build back better, you still have to break down to the last compound. And according to the Catholic Church, this grave evil that the Democratic Party is doing, it's its last ditch effort to get as much money as it can to shift in wealth and to create a permanently stagnant, enabled group of people. And this is why we have no southern border. So we could be guilty by association if we want to. All I'm saying is, when you don't know, you, I, or anybody else, feeling confused and not sure, sometimes a no selection is the best selection, because I know I shall doubt. For those who did not vote for Trump or Biden, even those who voted for Trump and not Biden feels good about themselves. But if you voted for Biden, and Biden is, the president that you went in and voted for, the one that you fought for, the one that you politic for, you should be ashamed of yourself. There should be some type of repentance. And the reaction is to not vote in 2024 when it comes to a presidential election, because we cannot be guilty by association, because we know without a shadow of a doubt, anybody that they put in that ticket or on that ticket is a part of the establishment, is a part of this operation, and a part of this international push for one world, one rule order. Because it's strange that you have a whole group of Americans who consider themselves to be patriots and fight for this country, and we see them being under attack on a daily basis. On a daily basis. We can no longer be guilty by association. We can no longer be associated with evil. And the Democratic Party is the biggest threat to the black race, without a shadow of doubt. So let's be open-minded. Let's claim our power. Deal with the absolute truth in racial matters and racial equity. Be proactive versus reactive. And fight to control us. So with that being said, man, y'all have a good day. Happy summer to you. Today is June 1st, 2022. And thanks for tuning in to a Better Black America podcast, the #1 urban podcast stateside and worldwide. I'm your man, Bushan Glover. Until next time, one.